All right, guys. Okay, we're not done talking about Venezuela. The silliness, the absurdity out there right now in our own country is just so weird to me. People are defending Nicolás Maduro. People are angry because Trump liberated a country. People are angry because oil. And people are angry because the U.S. is sticking its nose where it doesn't belong. Is that about it? Is that the gist? Anything else that you guys are angry about? Let me ask you a simple question. If a country, Venezuela, collapses so badly that millions of its citizens flee, its currency became worthless, its elections stopped being trusted at all, and international organizations documented torture, disappearances, and repression, why on earth are the aforementioned Americans defending the guy who ran it? What drives me crazy isn't the disagreement. It's the denial, the refusal to acknowledge that what has actually happened in that country. They're not opinions. They're not narratives. It's reality. So let's talk about it real fast. This is a quick one. Things that are provable. And then we'll talk about why people who've never lived under a dictator like that feel so comfortable defending one. Here's the thing. What happened in Venezuela under Nicolás Maduro isn't some sort of rumor. It's not made up. It's not up for debate. It's not a conspiracy theory. It isn't partisan spin. It's documented. Start with the economy. Did you know at one point Venezuela experienced hyperinflation measured in the millions of percent? Not double digits, not the 9% horror show that we had here under Biden. Not hundreds, millions of percent. People were getting paid in salaries that couldn't buy food the same day. Savings were wiped out, cash became trash. That does not happen in a functioning system. That happens when a government destroys its own country. Then there's migration, like I mentioned. This wasn't just people looking for better opportunities like we see so much. This was one of the largest mass migrations in modern history. Over 8 million Venezuelans fled because they couldn't survive. No food, no medicine, safety, doctors, engineers, teachers, gone. People are eating out of the trash. People don't abandon their homeland in those numbers unless there's a serious fucking problem. So now let's talk about the power. Maduro's elections were widely rejected by opposition parties, independent observers, and foreign governments. Courts stopped acting independently. Political opponents were jailed, silenced, or forced into exile. That is not democracy. That's consolidation of power. And this is not just coming from the United States government. The United Nations themselves documented arbitrary detention, torture, and killings carried out by state forces and aligned groups. Those are international investigations, not tweets. And then there's the narco state question. The U.S. Justice Department formally charged Maduro and senior officials with drug trafficking, alleging coordination with criminal networks to move cocaine into international markets. You don't have to like America to understand this. Countries don't indict sitting heads of state lightly. That's not smart. So when people say, where's the proof of all this? What they really mean is, I don't want to accept the proof for whatever reason. Here's what makes the defense of Maduro even stranger to me. For years, large parts of the world didn't even recognize him as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. So when people act like he's some universally accepted president defending his country, it's just false. Imagine if a U.S. governor declared himself president, sidelined courts, locked up opponents, and ran elections that no one trusted. Picture Gavin Newsom, somebody like that, somehow building an army, probably a laughable one, but just humor me. And he called himself the president of California, then destroyed his people even more than he already has. Sadly, I wonder if some of you would be okay with it because, big bad orange man would have to intervene. It has gotten that absurd. If Biden carried out this mission in Venezuela, what would the reaction be? When he killed Osama, he didn't kill him, but he was the sitting president when Osama bin Laden was killed. Did the right side, did conservatives, was this political? I think everybody was pretty happy. Were people screaming international law? No. I cannot figure out why I'm so bothered by this. I know how you guys on the other side of the aisle have been acting recently in the modern days. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Do I need to just try and laugh it off? I don't know how any American can be so brainwashed, so hypocritical. How are people living in the freest country on earth defending actual authoritarian regimes that they would never survive under? Then they try and call our government those same things, which is completely false. And you've seen the shirts out there. It's really, really disturbing. Americans wearing Castro shirts, Che Guevara shirts, if I said that correctly. There are posters and slogans, all from people who claim to enjoy free speech, free movement, free elections, while praising leaders who crush all three. Do you guys think you're showing some sort of courage by doing this? I suppose some of it is just anti-America reflex these days. Some of it is trying to sound edgy or morally superior. Some of it is just performative sympathy for the oppressed or marginalized groups without listening to the actual oppressed people. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If these systems were so noble, people would not be risking everything to escape them. Venezuelans are not fleeing because of propaganda. They're fleeing because reality hit harder than ideology. So when Americans chant in support of regimes like this, what they're really saying is, I like the aesthetic of revolution as long as I don't have to live with the consequences. Real fast, I wanted to make this a quick one. I'm just so annoyed, for lack of a better word. But the oil argument, it's all about the oil. Except the US doesn't need Venezuelan oil. This isn't the fucking 70s. What is relevant is who controls that oil when the US doesn't engage. China, Russia, other actual authoritarian states that would happily lock up resources while propping up friendly dictators. They all have something in common. They hate the United States. Ignoring Venezuela didn't help Venezuelans. It helped rival powers fill the vacuum. Pretending geopolitics doesn't exist doesn't make it disappear. Here's the bottom line. You can dislike Donald Trump. We've been over this. You can distrust U.S. foreign policy. You can argue about the strategy. These are the things that actual adults and leaders should do. But defending a dictator while ignoring millions of victims is not moral clarity. It is denial. This wasn't theoretical harm. This was real people, real suffering, real collapse. And the loudest voices defending Maduro are always the ones who never had to live under him. That tells you everything. And look, once again, I understand the concern about international law. I really do. Power should not be used recklessly or casually. And of course, where's that line? Who decides where it's drawn? I get it. But here's the reality. When a country actually has the ability and power to act, not tweet, not protest, not issue statements, but act, that responsibility doesn't disappear just because criticism will follow. The people yelling the loudest about international legality are often the same people who couldn't do anything even if they wanted to. Action is always messier than commentary. Sometimes the countries with power have to make decisions that are uncomfortable, unpopular, and imperfect because someone has to move beyond talk. If that upsets you, I get it. But doing nothing while people suffer isn't moral superiority. So yeah, here in the US, we'll absorb the criticism. We always do. We'll make the hard calls, and we'll actually do the things everyone else just debates. And I'm very proud of that. That's it. Needed to be said. Hope it helps. Keep listening. And don't cave to all the pressure. See you guys in the next one. Love you all.